In today's video, I'm excited to be unboxing and setting up the Ring alarm system here in the UK. Okay, so I've been wanting to get one of these for a while. They've been available in the US for a little bit. It's the Ring alarm system. If you've seen other videos on the channel, I'm a big fan of Ring products. Got the doorbell and stick-up cameras and spotlight cameras and all sorts of stuff. But wanted to get one of these alarm systems to kind of tie all these things together and have a little bit of added security around the home. So we're going to look at this. This is the alarm system box that you can get here in the UK, available in obviously Europe and US as well. And I've also got some additional sensors, so contact sensor and motion detectors. So we're not going to unbox these because these are included in this pack, but these are additional items. Because obviously if you've got more doors and windows and sensors you want to have, then you need to buy additional ones, but they're pretty reasonably priced. So this is it. This is the box that you kind of buy. It's got cellular backup as well as obviously being hardwired into your network. So if you have a network outage or power outage, it still has cellular backup. Here in the UK, the way the system works is slightly different to the US. In the US, if there's a detection, it can call emergency services. Over here, it doesn't do that. You can basically configure 3 separate telephone numbers that will call in priority order to perhaps, husband and then the wife and then a relative or something like that. Basically, the homeowners to be brought to attention that there's been something been detected. It's supposed to be pet friendly as well. So, if you've got dogs and cats, that shouldn't set things off. And there's no real tools or anything required. You can just stick these things up and then obviously when you move, take them away with you as well. So it's pretty discreet, but should do a good job. So one thing I add is some of the features of this, you need to be like a Ring Protect Plus subscriber. So most people, if you have more than one camera, you've probably decided to do that anyway. It's about £80 a year or something, and that gives a lot of these extra features. So let's unbox things and see how things go inside. Let's just pop this in front of those. So again, I haven't set this up yet. This is the first unboxing, and then we'll kind of go into some of the setup as we go through. So say hello to Ring. We'll look at that in a moment. This here is the main kind of alarm box. So there's probably the speaker in there. In terms of things on the side, there's a little slot on the side here that has the SIM card in. On the back here we have an Ethernet port and a USB port. That's, and then there's a little DC power socket just there. On the back we've got a pairing button, a reset button and some signal. Looks like a Wi-Fi signal and a power signal, so I'm assuming that indicates that some power's happening. And then there is a secured enclosure there with a screw, and these will be batteries to provide backup power when there is mains outage. So pop that just there for now. Next in the box is your sensors and accessories. So again, we'll just pop this towards the front here. So first thing we have here is the alarm pad. So this kind of fits into its own little cradle here. You can take it out and remove it. On the back here, I'm not sure how well you're able to see this, there is a micro USB power socket there. I believe that this obviously can be powered, but also will hold a charge for a certain amount of time. We'll see how long that lasts, but you can obviously mount this on the wall or just place it on a desk. So we have obviously the ability to set pin numbers, individual pin number for each person, or if you control things from the app. And I think also with a pin number you can enable and disable it from your Amazon Echo device. But it's not just as simple as someone saying, hey, her name, disable the alarm. There is a pin number associated, so it stops someone shouting through your letterbox and turning things on and off. Okay, now next inside is there's different sensors. So we have one motion sensor just here, little pull to release strap for the battery. A little bit fidgety to get some of these things out, but we'll come back to that in a minute. There is a little bracket that this will sit or screw or glue onto. And we have contact sensor in here. Ethernet lead for the back of the alarm box there. This here is a range extender for the alarm system. So one thing I'm going to be interested about is obviously I want to have sensors both in my house, here in the cave, in the garage, and potentially in the workshop as well. So we have to see how well these extenders work. I'm not sure if the Ring Chime Pro extender does anything to that as well. We'll have to wait and see. Some screws and mounting raw plugs in there. Here we have the power box, the power supply for the alarm there. And then lastly in the box we have some UK plugs and some EU plugs. So obviously we want the UK ones, so we'll just pop that open. These little sliding plugs that go into these different connection points. So that makes sense. The one thing I haven't seen yet is it's in there, is a power connector for that. There's no micro USB connector that I've seen yet. I'm just check it's not in the EU plugs box. No. It may be under this bit of the box that I can't get out too easily. Yeah, it is. So let's just get this out for you so you can see. So that's the mounting plate for the motion sensor, micro USB to power the keypad, and a little power supply to obviously plug in and charge the keypad as well. So that's everything that we need. So I'm going to clear some space and then we can go through the setup of the alarm system and see how it works. Okay, so we've got the things that I think we need to set this up. We have a phone ready with the app obviously installed. We have the main alarm unit, the keypad, power's run, also have an Ethernet cable. If you're not familiar with these plugs and how they fit on, they're really kind of straightforward and simple. So they just kind of slide in to the bottom here. So the same applies for this range extender as well as the power for the alarm and the keypad. Put these sensors to one side, so probably need those to do setup. But let's have a quick look in this Say Hello to Ring pack. So let's see what we have inside. So as usual with Ring, we have a load of their stickers that you can stick in places in different countries, letting people know that you have a Ring system. We have a Ring alarm book, which we'll look at shortly, and then we have a Ring declaration of conformity and different frequencies that are being used for the alarm system and the battery information just there. So let's raise this up, pop that out of the way. So hopefully you can see everything on the screen, on the desk I should say. So it gives us information about the different products that we've already gone through, information about recommendations on where you might set things up in your house, how you go about setting up your account for the first time, set up with the alarm base stations, set up the assisted monitoring, and set up the different devices as well, and phone numbers and whatnot. So it should be relatively straightforward, I think. So I'm not expecting any issues. So let's set things up and see how we go, about how we bypass and configure the different configurations of this stuff. So we'll start off by powering things up. So as mentioned, I've got power cable's run, just haven't set it up yet. So let's unplug all the things. So I have a network cable here and DC power here. Let's plug it in. Power light comes on straight at the back there. Ethernet goes in. Okay, so the power light has now changed from red to orange and now to green, and the wireless signal is flashing red. Now we apply power to the keypad here. Oh, actually, that Wi-Fi signal has now gone green, so it's obviously getting an IP address from the Ethernet, and I'm assuming we're going to get asked to set up wireless connectivity to that as well. Now let's run this cable in the back here with the keypad. Okay, so now we can see, so we're seeing communication is happening between, so the green light is obviously flashing, I'm assuming, because it's charging the battery, and the blue light's turned on the main unit there. Things start to communicate. So let's just see. So if it's blue and spinning, that means it's ready to pair. If it's solid blue, it means pairing is completed. So yeah, I think it should be good. I think most of these things, because it's coming in this pack, will have been paired automatically. So it may need to do a software update as well. So let's just enable you so you can see the screen of the phone just over here and go through this setup process. So okay, we say set up alarm. Okay, choose a good spot for your base station. So I'm going to obviously install this in my house properly later. This is just to kind of get things up and running. So connect to the base station. So it looks like it uses Bluetooth to do this initial setup. And we can see here that ring is now spinning. So it looks like something is going on. And this has stopped spinning. Okay, it says we can't find your base station. Make sure it's plugged in and that you pressed the button to begin pairing mode. Okay, need to press the pairing button. Okay, so now it's spinning around blue. Try again, find my base station. Okay, so do you want to start with Ethernet or Wi-Fi? I'm going to go with Wi-Fi, I think. Actually, we'll do Ethernet for now if it's easier. I can do Wi-Fi later and give some feedback on how that works. So as mentioned before, whilst it's setting up, if you want to have the assisted monitoring, that does require the Ring Protect Plus plan. Okay, your Ring alarm base station is now complete. Press continue. Add link devices to automate your home security. So add link devices. Tap the icons to link devices together and automate your ring of security. So right now we've got information about if the alarm goes off, you can basically set it so that the current cameras in and around my house will start doing things. Right now I'm not going to do anything with those. So before we need to set up how you're going to use your Ring alarms, let's do that. With subscription to Ring Plus, you enjoy city monitoring plus mobile backup if your internet goes down. So that SIM card doesn't work either unless you have the Ring Plus protection. So here we can add these emergency contacts that I mentioned. So I'm going to set myself up, my wife up, and that's my dad or somebody. So let's see what we can do. Okay, now it also suggests that you set the Ring alarm to your contacts Okay, so I'll do that. And that's doing an update. Okay, so I think things are starting to come back together now. So this is finished rebooting and flashing and is now solid blue. And the app is now telling me that it is connecting. So whilst that was happening, I was just looking through some of the setup. So it does recommend that you place the range extender kind of somewhere in between the base station and your furthest away alarm. So I'm probably gonna have this somewhere in the garage or the cave or something. So we'll see how that goes over time with the setup. In terms of the contact sensors, the other piece of the contact sensor is here in the bow, which I'll take out in a moment. When we're installing this, we need to make sure that the gap between the two sensors isn't more than ½ inch, so that 1.27 centimeters. And these can go on doors or windows. And the important thing is you need to set it to be either on a door, at least a primary door or a secondary door. So a primary door is where there's going to be a little bit of delay, so you can open up the door and get to the alarm or turn the keypad off. Secondary door is obviously something that you don't want any delay on. And they recommend that you only set up one device at a time to save complexities. So as you can see now, the system knows that it had certain things in this box already. So the Ring alarm is set up. It's now configuring the keypad according to what's happening here. So device added, tap here to finish setup. So we can see now we've got a little blue light, a little blue light is lit up on the bottom of the keypad here, so we can log in and set this up. So what room will you put this in? So I'm probably gonna, not sure what room I'm gonna put it in yet. So I'll just leave it, says no room assigned, and we set that later. Give a name to the keypad. So again, I'm sure we can do that later as well, but we'll leave it as keypad, whatever. So put it in a convenient place, that should be fine. Next, we need to choose the access code. Okay, so I will do that now. So it's a 4-digit PIN. So the keypad is configured and ready to use with Ring. And there's obviously videos that we can watch to see how that all works as well. Okay, so that's good. So we have main box working, the keypad set up and working, currently in kind of home mode, I guess. Then a couple of other options. So we're gonna set up the range extender next. So I'm just gonna plug this into the little sockets I have down here. Okay, now we can see that is syncing onto my connected devices as well. And there is a little blue light that can't really show you right now, but it's a blue ring that's flashing. It looks very similar to the obviously blue ring on the alarm, and that's now blinking very slowly, and I'm assuming then we'll go to a constant blue when connected. So that'll probably help me in terms of the positioning, how I get that set up. But I'll do a little overlay so you can see what the blue light looks like on that extender once it's all set up. So, so that says it's finished setting up as well. So it asks us to put information as to where it is. Let's put no room assigned right now. Let's call it range extender. So I may need more of those range extenders as well. Okay, so next thing to do is we will set up the motion sensor. Okay, so just pull the little tab on the back here. Okay, you can see little blue light flashing on the top here. This sets up as well, so just pop that there so you can clearly see what's going on. And this is the kind of blue light that we had flashing on the extender, which has now kind of gone out once it's connected. Okay, so device is added, set up. Okay, so how would you like to use this sensor in an entryway? Alarm is delayed when motion detector sensors giving you time to disarm the alarm, or is it in a room where the alarm sounds immediately when motion detection is sensed? So I'm probably going to put this in an entryway, so I'll click that for now, and I'm sure I can change all of this information later as well. Okay, so the Ring app warns when your motion sensor senses movement. To ensure you see the warning, the motion detected indicator remains until 3 minutes pass with no detection. Okay, some information about how we install the motion sensor as well. Okay, and so it says you want to test your motion sensor. You can help you visualize the area of your motion sensor for 15 minutes after you start the test. You'll see an immediate indication that it stays on until there's no movement. When movement is detected, let's see what happens when we do a test then. Open the cover of the motion sensor, wait for the LED light to stop blinking, and close the cover. Okay, I'll cancel the test for now. So that is now all set up as well. And then finally, the last thing for us to do is set one of these contact sensors. Okay, so when this is set up, you've basically got these two lines that need to kind of be able to go together. So again, I'll just pull out the little backing of this. Again, if you're adding new things, you just need to scan the QR codes and just set these up, because these are all as part of a pack. They know they exist. As you can see, that device is adding as well. So things all seem pretty straightforward. And what I do once this kind of initial setup is finished, we'll end the video here, and then we'll come back after I've installed things and had it running for a few days to give you feedback on what works well, what I'm not happy with, and then just some examples of the alarm going off and doing some tests, etc. So hopefully that will help. So finally set this last one up. So I'm going to say this is a secondary door. No room assigned. Contact sensor bar. Okay, so say hello to your contact sensor. The Ring contact sensor has two main parts. If you want step-by-step instructions, we'll skip that. Pretty obvious how that should work. To test your door sensor, open and close the door. The indicator above turns red when the door is open. Okay, that's quite cool. So that's quite handy actually if kids open the door or something. You'll get some indication that the doors have opened. Be interested to see if we can set different tones for different doors. But that is it. That is things kind of pretty much set up. We can go to dashboard just to see what that video is all about.
To arm Ring alarm with the keypad, enter a 4-digit access code, then press a mode button. The system will enter exit delay to let you leave the house without arming. When exit delay finishes, Ring alarm will be armed. For more information about Ring devices, go to ring.com.
Okay, let's go to the dashboard. Okay, so now we have these new options at the top for disarmed, home and away. Let me see if I do it open again. It even says contact sensor and the number. So again, if I configure that to be a door, it's going to give me information as to what door is opened and whatnot. So it all seems pretty cool, pretty straightforward. So I look forward to kind of setting this up more and doing some more tests, and then obviously then providing you with some feedback to end off this video of how it's working, what I like and what I dislike about the Ring alarm in this kind of initial week of testing. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up this video with my thoughts on the Ring alarm system. I've had it in for about nearly 2 weeks now, so I feel relatively comfortable with it, and obviously I've installed everything, set it up, so I'll give you my thoughts on kind of the whole solution. So Install is super easy. As you saw in the previous part of the video, adding the different sensor components are really easy with the QR codes, and then you can just screw or use the 3M self-adhesive tapes to kind of fix it to the walls or what have you. And that works really well. Fitting the actual alarm box itself was a little bit tricky, but only because of I wanted to try and do as a clean install as possible, and the power connector on the back is an L shape, so trying to get that through the hole I kind of cut was a little bit tricky, but not the end of the world. So that all went really well. Z-Wave by its nature is a mesh kind of network, so once you start deploying all these sensors around your house on the doors, windows, and the motion sensors, it kind of creates that mesh network. So I don't really think you need the signal booster component, but I've plugged it in anyway just to kind of reinforce and hopefully not have to have the batteries work as hard. So that all works really well. Setting the alarm from the keypad is super simple. Everybody does have to have a separate key code, so people can't kind of share a number, so that's kind of good and bad. I mean, good from a security perspective, but maybe bad from a memory perspective. Obviously you could, if you wanted to, share those PIN numbers, but obviously not recommended. But it works really well. Been using it not whilst we're away right now, only once when we went out for a walk. It seemed to work fine, and I've done some tests to prove how well the alarm works and the motion sensors work to see actually how it will operate. But works fine in home mode, works fine with the pets as well. So no kind of false alarms or anything. And you can set it to do basically different things. So we have it set so at different times motion sets off the alarm and doesn't, but doors always do, and obviously different things with the cameras as well. So overall works really well. Things that are a little bit frustrating about it is this is relatively new in the UK, but they have brought out a new system just this week in the US at the time of doing it. So this is mid to end of April right now I'm doing this video. It's a little frustrating that you just buy this in the UK and now the US version is a slightly new, improved but slimmer. It's not really like improved functionality so much, just a little bit slimmer and compact some of the items. One will assume that those things will be available. I did ask Ring if they would be compatible Gen 1 and Gen 2, and they pretty much ignored it and said, well, this is only for the US, don't worry about it in the UK. And the other thing is that in the US, there's lots more compatibility with third-party items and smoke and CO2 sensors and things, which I would be interested in getting, but I can't right now for the Ring alarm system. Things that are a little bit frustrating, or I would like to be able to do something different with it, is on the keypad it has this insanely bright green light that shows you that the keypad is on charge. You can't dim that when you change the dimming of the light. It changes the brightness of the keys and stuff, but not of that green light. So if you had it in a bedroom or something, which we are considering, but probably we'll now wait till the Gen 2 keypad comes available because it doesn't have that green light on, it doesn't seem from the pictures. So you'd probably want to cover that up. Saying that though, the keypad should last for somewhere between 7 to 12 months, depending on usage, not on the charger, so that's pretty good and gives you the facility to mount it wherever you like. That little repeater, for the signal, also has a little battery in it. I don't know how long that lasts. I'm going to guess 24 hours, same as the actual alarm box itself, 24 hours backup on that one if the power goes. Obviously you need the Ring Protect Plus account if you want the alerting and the SIM phone backup component when there's a power or when your network goes out. If you have multiple Ring devices already, you probably have that, so not an issue. It's about £80 a year, so makes good financial sense, I think, if you've got multiple Ring devices. I would like to have the option to configure the cameras to set off the alarm. So I have a couple of Ring indoor cameras that I have disabled unless the alarm is set to home for sleeping or away, and I would like to have the ability to customize alerting on that. So if that sees motion, that would set off the alarm, which would mean you don't have to have as many sensors everywhere because you would utilize the camera for that. And the other thing that would be good, I think, is if you have other Ring external cameras like the floodlight camera, spotlight camera, they have sirens built into them, and when the siren goes off on the alarm system, it'd be great for those to go off as well. So you then had external audio of alarm going off as opposed to just the internal box. So again, not the end of the world. These are just things that would be nice to improve it. And obviously Ring has the ability to update these features over time. So maybe that's something that would be considered. And I have given feedback to Ring on that, so we'll see what the future holds. But I think it's really good value for money. The sensors seem to work well. There's not really much lag. So I feel confident and safe in kind of the product that it's providing. Just trying to think if there's anything else really that is worth saying. No, I'm happy with the purchase, and yeah, I recommend it. Definitely easy to set up. I think one thing that people may say actually in the comments is about the fact that this obviously is a wireless system. In fact, it's using Z-Wave, and yes, of course, there is potential risk of using a wireless alarm system over a wired one. In terms of if someone wanted to, there are ways to block those signals and interfere with it. The only thing I would say to that is about being pragmatic. One, lots of other alarm systems are also wireless. This isn't specific to Ring. The advantage of wireless is you can put stuff wherever you want, and you've got lots more versatility. You don't have to have wires everywhere and channeling the walls out, so you've got flexibility. And if someone is going to attack those systems, proximity is also a thing. You have to be relatively close to impact the Z-Wave communication. And again, looking at the ring of security, the perimeter of your house, you'd hope that cameras or something would set up. So it's all, all these things are trade-offs when it comes to it, but it's not something that concerns me, but we will see in the future. Again, I live in a nice area. I've never had any concerns really in the past. I just was interested in getting one of these alarm systems because I think it's priced relatively well. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So I hope this video helps. Please leave comments below. Perhaps you've got a Ring alarm and you've had different experiences. Perhaps you're considering one, you've got other questions that weren't answered in this video.
Thanks for watching this video. A thumbs up would be really appreciated. If you're interested in other geek type videos, please consider subscribing to Spectrum Geeks. Why not also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And before you leave, why don't you check out one of these other videos that may be of interest. Thanks again for watching.